Every time an insect looks at you, it is not seeing what you think it is seeing. The world they perceive is running at a different speed, in colors you cannot detect, with a field of view that makes yours look like a keyhole. You have been in thousands of these visual fields without ever knowing it. Some of the animals in this video have already memorized your face.
The compound eye. A human eye works like a camera, one lens, one focused image, processed by a single retina. An insect eye works like a mosaic made of hundreds or thousands of individual lenses, each called an ommatidium, pointing in slightly different directions and sending separate signals to the brain simultaneously. For decades, scientists believed this produced a kaleidoscope of repeated images, the shorthand Hollywood still uses for bug vision. This is wrong. Modern research has confirmed that compound eyes produce a single, unified image, not a repeated pattern. The trade-off is resolution. Insect vision is generally less sharp than human vision for fine detail. What it sacrifices in sharpness, it more than compensates for in other ways. A dragonfly's compound eyes cover nearly 80% of its head surface. A fly's compound eye processes visual information faster than any camera ever built by humans. These are not primitive eyes. They are different eyes, optimized for entirely different priorities.
What you actually look like to a fly. When a fly looks at you moving across a room, it is not seeing you at the speed you think you are moving. Flies process visual information at a rate significantly faster than humans. Their flicker fusion rate, the speed at which they process individual frames of visual input, is roughly 4 times higher than ours. The practical result is that from a fly's perspective, a human hand swinging toward it is moving in what amounts to slow motion. This is why swatting a fly is so consistently unsuccessful. By the time your hand has crossed half the distance, the fly has already detected the motion, calculated a trajectory, and initiated an escape response. You are not slow because of reaction time. You are slow because your visual system is operating at a fundamentally lower frame rate than the animal you are trying to hit.
The UV world you cannot see. Human vision covers a spectrum from red to violet. Most insects, including bees, see on a completely different spectrum, from orange to ultraviolet. The UV end of that spectrum reveals a world humans cannot access without technology. Many wildflowers have evolved rings of ultraviolet light around their centers that act as landing guides for pollinators, patterns that are entirely invisible to human eyes but appear as bright signals to a bee. Your skin reflects UV light in patterns you have never seen and never will. The markings on another person's face that are completely invisible to you are detectable to a bee flying past. Sunscreen, which absorbs UV light, makes you appear to change color entirely in the UV spectrum. When a bee lands on your arm, it is looking at a version of you that you cannot see in any mirror.
The mosquito's targeting system. Mosquitoes do not find you randomly. They operate a multi-layered targeting system. At long range, they detect the carbon dioxide you exhale with every breath. CO2 plumes extend meters from your body and act as a navigation signal, drawing them towards you from distances of up to 50 meters. As they close in, their visual system activates. Research has confirmed that mosquitoes use specific visual receptors to track dark objects moving against lighter backgrounds, the contrast your body creates against a bright sky or pale wall. Within close range, heat sensors detect your body temperature precisely enough to locate exposed skin through clothing. The mosquito that lands on your wrist has been tracking you through 3 separate sensory systems, switching between them as it gets closer, each one handing off to the next with more precision than the last. The wasp that knows your face. Paper wasps of the species Polistes fuscatus have unique facial markings on their heads. Research published in peer-reviewed journals confirmed that these wasps use those markings to recognize individual nestmates, not by learning individual features, but by processing the face as a complete whole, the same way humans do. This is called configural face processing, and until these wasps were studied, it was considered a uniquely human and primate ability. When researchers painted over the facial markings of individual wasps, altering their appearance, nestmates treated the altered wasps with significantly more aggression than control subjects, whose appearances were unchanged. The wasps knew something was wrong with a face they had previously memorized. A paper wasp that has seen your face once has filed it. If it sees you again, it will know it has seen you before.
The jumping spider. Jumping spiders are arachnids, not insects, but their visual system belongs in this video. They have 8 eyes, 4 pairs, each serving a different function: high-resolution forward vision, peripheral motion detection, and near-complete 360-degree coverage of their surroundings. Their 2 forward-facing principal eyes have the highest spatial resolution known for any animal of comparable size. Human vision is only approximately 5 to 10 times sharper. For an animal small enough to fit inside a human eyeball, that gap is almost nothing. Jumping spiders also see ultraviolet light that humans cannot detect, and some species have been confirmed to have trichromatic color vision comparable to our own, with an additional UV channel we entirely lack. When a jumping spider turns to look at you directly, which they do because they are curious and actively investigate large objects in their environment, it is seeing you in sharper detail across a wider color spectrum with better peripheral coverage than you have of it. The dragonfly's predator brain. Dragonflies have a confirmed hunting success rate of over 95%, the highest of any predator on Earth. This is almost entirely a visual achievement. Their compound eyes cover nearly their entire head, giving them close to 360-degree vision with almost no blind spots. But the truly disturbing element is not the field of view. It is what the dragonfly's brain does with it. Rather than tracking where prey currently is, the strategy used by most visual predators, the dragonfly's brain calculates where the prey will be and flies directly to that interception point. It does not chase, it predicts. The neural circuits responsible for this predictive targeting have been studied extensively and are now being used as the basis for autonomous drone targeting systems. The dragonfly solved a targeting problem that human engineers are still working on, approximately 300 million years before we started trying.
The mantis shrimp. The mantis shrimp is not an insect and not an arachnid, it is a crustacean. It is also the animal with the most complex visual system ever confirmed in any species on Earth. It has up to 16 types of color-sensitive photoreceptors. Humans have 3. The mantis shrimp can see ultraviolet, visible, and near-infrared light simultaneously, along with polarized light in multiple orientations that no other animal is known to detect. Here is the part that scientists did not expect. Despite having 16 color channels, mantis shrimp are actually worse than humans at distinguishing between similar colors. They do not use their visual system the way we use ours. Instead of comparing channels to distinguish subtle differences, they use each channel as a rapid filter, scanning an object and identifying it by which receptor fires hardest, rather than by nuanced comparison. They traded color discrimination for speed. The result is a visual system that can identify threats and targets faster than any color-comparing eye could manage. It is not the richest color vision on Earth, it is the fastest classification system on Earth disguised as color vision.